Hey friends, it's Sonya here. How are you today? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is another edition of the Sonya Janice podcast series, otherwise known as the I Am Show or the Sonya Janice Show. Really, have you ever tried this? Have you ever tried hashtag Ask Sonya and see what comes up? Make sure you spell it right. AskSonya and see what comes up. Friends, thank you for joining me today. This is podcast episode 195, and I have a couple of treats for you today. So stay tuned. Actually, you know what? Grab your pen and paper for this one. Have your water, or in my case, green tea ready. I like this cup. Oh, my butterfly cup broke. That Brooke gave me for my birthday. It was clear and it had butterflies. I put ice in it and it broke. But my mom gave me this one years ago. It starts off black and it turns into butterflies as it gets hot in a beautiful garden. And I guess it says something that I didn't realize that I'm showing the camera. Um, to my beautiful friend. Oh, I didn't know the cup said that. Okay, for those that are joining me, I am once again available to watch this episode through YouTube, and maybe this is where you found us, or you can also listen to this on all of your favorite listening channels. But I am going to do something very unique today. I am going to invite my Celebrate Everything community to join us live. So as I'm recording this, I'm going to invite the community in. So please invite anybody that you know. Stop right now and literally invite anybody that you may know who will join us in this episode, join you in listening to this. You can share it at the end, you can share it now, but you already know what you know. You already know what your heart's telling you, and your heart's telling you, yeah, life's getting busy. I'm doing this while I'm doing something else. I'm listening, but I'm absorbing, do it now. If that's you, this is who I'm speaking to. Gen X women who are, let's be honest, most likely never been diagnosed with ADHD, but all of a sudden their children have it, or their parents have it, or their grandkids have it. And now you need to think twice because as you're learning to work with them, as you're learning to respond to them in a way that they can understand to make things easier, you're suddenly connecting the dots. And those dots are what brought you here today. So, my name is Sonya. I'm a holistic health coach. I've been in the health and wellness industry for 20 years, folks. 20 years. Who can say that? Like, who can say their commitment to something has been that long? And of course, there's been peaks and valleys and highs and lows and mountains and rivers that I've had to cross and dry spells and questionable times, but I wouldn't still be showing up in different ways, using different levels of creativity and sharing what I've learned this wasn't supposed to be. So that's the same with you. You've landed here somehow because you were supposed to be. Let me invite my friends and I will be right back. Okay, so I have sent out invites for people to join us live on this. Not sure yet if it's going to happen, but if it does, great. And if it doesn't, I am here for you when this is the right time for you to receive this message. If we have participants, no matter where they join in, we will have a Q&A session at the end. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, or at least stick around and see what happens. So now that you have your water bottle, your book, your coffee cup, your tea, mine's green tea with honey, and you've invited a few of your friends, I hope you're ready to get started. Today's episode is going to be relatively short and sweet, and it's really all about when hormones and neurodivergence collide. You know, why your coping mechanisms are failing, why you've done what you've done. So let's get started. Hello, gorgeous, and welcome to the Sonia Janice Show. I am so glad you're here today. You know, today, let it in. Ah, we're honoring our bodies as we talk about a conversation that's been in my DMs and in my community for quite some time. It's something that so many of us, and I say us because I'm included, it doesn't matter where we're at on the spectrum, I may be ahead of you, I may be behind you, I may be walking alongside of you. Ideally, by the way, you want a coach who's walking ahead of you because they've just walked the path. But, we're talking about a conversation that's been bubbling up everywhere that surrounds me. So I'm sure it surrounds you. And if you've been invited to today's show, whether through the live link or through a friend, or maybe you stumbled across it, there is something in here for you. And what we're talking about today is something that so many of us experience, but most of us are not talking about. Have you ever felt like you're losing your mind? Not in a dramatic way, but in a quite frustrating way. Maybe you're a woman who has spent decades building a toolbox of strategies to help you navigate your life. And lately, that toolbox just seems to be failing you. Mm. Your brain kind of feels like a browser with 100 tabs open and a memory leak. You don't even know where you're going next. So, well, you're not alone, my friends. This is what I say. You're in the right place. We're diving into the powerful collision of being a Gen X woman who is now, and probably always has been, neurodivergent and is dealing with the beautiful, the beautiful chaos of perimenopause or menopause, even. Today we're going to talk about why your old tricks don't work anymore and what you, my friend, what you can do about it. So there's always tactical applications, practical ways to put two and two together. And I'm really looking forward to diving deeper in this journey with you. So listen a little bit more closely. I need to ask you a question. If you've ever felt like you're going crazy, I want to start by telling you you are not crazy. You are a woman experiencing a very real psychological and hormonal shift. That that's why what you're feeling is valid. What you're feeling is valid. You are not crazy. So let's be real. This isn't just about hot flashes and washing our bedding every day. It isn't about the world being on the word, the world. I can't read my notes, even with glasses on, right? Owning your shadows here. It's not about that word being on the tip of your tongue and it completely vanishes both from your tongue and from your mind. It's suddenly the sensory overwhelm from a noise that never bothered you before. It's a feeling of emotional dysregulation where a small stressor can make you cry or feel irrationally angry. I'm going to repeat that. It is so important. And for those that are catching this video content of some sort, I keep on looking up. I mean, I'm looking down, I'm looking to the left, I'm looking to the right, but I keep on looking up because there's this magnificent view of the trees. And as hot as it is outside, well, it is literally 29 degrees Celsius with a humidex factor bringing us up to 45 throughout the day. And it's only 10:30 in the morning. So we're not used to this kind of heat and humidity. So to see the breeze move through the trees, it warms my heart every time. There's where my distractions keep going. So, oh yeah, and that sidebar story, that is me discovering and owning the fact that I am neurodivergent. I talked about this at the very beginning of the episode, but neurodivergency you may not have been diagnosed with, especially if you're a Gen X woman. I took French immersion growing up and I really thought it was just me. I didn't really learn English grammar until grade 9. And I really thought it was me mixing up my I's and E's, J's and G's just from learning two languages at once. And even to this day, I spell it wrong. I transpose a lot more consonants these days than I thought I did. So I don't know if it's getting worse or if I'm just more aware of it. Knowing what I know now, things could have been different. But I am okay discovering this information now. It explains a lot and it helps me both on a psychological spectrum and physiological spectrum It helps me be honest with myself. It helps me understand why this sounds vain, but it's not. Why I love learning now, why I am smart now, why I have this knowledge that I love to share in me now. But yet, as a child, I was not diagnosed as a smart person. I was in advanced classes to help challenge me to show up. When I was put in classes that mentally didn't stimulate me, I was bored. I was frustrated because I was bored, right? And I learned those things about myself, but I didn't once connect the dots. So let's get back to the real problem. But this kind of sums it all up together. Sure, I went out and left fields and I'm coming back because when we break it down, it's not about hot flashes, like I said. It's not about that word being there or not even being there, but you know what it is, and it's just not connecting the dots. Ooh, do that again. Any time you need to do that, and for those that were paying attention, or if you need to go back 15, 20 seconds, I literally subconsciously took a deep breath in. I didn't know I was taking a deep breath until I opened my mouth to exhale. But when you listen to your body, you can honor your body. Ooh. Every time I speak, I am mindful of what's releasing from me through my throat chakra. Lean into those as well. Write them down. Make down. Write down any thoughts on your paper that stand out to you today, whether it's directly about today's podcast or whether it's something tangent and left field that is coming in from listening to today's show. So we've also brought up sensory overwhelm and a feeling of emotional dysregulation where you can't get your shit together. Well, let's be honest. And for those of us like myself who are neurodivergent, especially with ADHD, this can feel like our carefully built out organizational system has just gone rogue. Yeah. We can literally feel between the hot flashes and the noises and not being able to connect the dots and that what's been holding us together, those tools, the system that we had is no longer working. You see, as a Gen X woman, we're raised to suck it up. We were the latchkey kids, the ones who are expected to be self-sufficient. But perimenopause, along with our amazing neurodivergent brains, is calling our bluff. Did ever. You know, it's asking us to put our well-being first in a way that we've never heard of before. And I'm me myself, I'm listening. I'm listening because my parents are almost 80 years old and I see the way they're living their life now. That's a lot more sedentary than I've ever imagined. I don't want that for my 80th. I'm very proud of the fact that I still have my parents that are 80 years old and they've been together 54 years. I think it's amazing. I don't want to be sitting around all day, and that's almost a lot what I'm doing some days. And so it feels. I know that's not true. This is the neurodivergent not enoughness with the ADHD and the inner voice speaking to me that is not true. I am pulling this apart a lot more as I go through the fifth agreement. Um, the same author that wrote the four agreements wrote the fifth agreement, and it is a really good book. All right, I am sidebarring again. Again, this explains to what is going on. Just making a note here, the fifth agreement. And I'll make sure I add this to the show notes. Okay, so we are being forced to put our well-beings in a way in front of us, like we never, ever, ever have before. We don't have four figures showing us how to do this. Our parents did not do this. We're pioneering this essential mandatory do it or my body, or here's your body telling you, listen to me, or I will fail you and force you to listen to me. See, that's what happened to me. I'm not going to go over my story now, but I really believe that God lifted me up and dropped me down in a different spot, helped me find faith, helped me become the person I am, who I am today, because of the experiences the last 3 years have taught me. Um, but I had no choice but to put my well-being first. Let's dive into this a little bit deeper. Think of estrogen. So there's a couple key players in what's going on behind the scenes here. So think of estrogen as a sympathy conductor in your brain. It's responsible for orchestrating so many things, the mood, memory, focus, and it directly influences the ability of brain chemicals like dopamine and serotonin. For someone who is neurodivergent, their brain's orchestra is already working in a different way. It's unique and very brilliant. But when the conductor, the estrogen, starts to drop out or become erratic, that carefully balanced symphony can descend into chaos. This is why things like brain fog, memory issues, and even effective dysfunction get amplified. It's not a personality flaw. It's not a personality flaw. I had to go there. It's a psychological shift. You're shifting. Your brain isn't broken. It's adapting to a new hormonal landscape, completely different than what you thought. And it's asking you for new tools to help it along the way. So, what do we do about it? The first step is to give ourselves grace. This isn't about fixing anything, it's about building a new system that honors where you're at now. I've put together a quick starter kit from a holistic perspective, some basic things to help get you back to neutral. So, on the physical, prioritize nourishing your nervous system. Nourish it over pushing yourself. I'm talking about swapping out the high intensity HIIT training for a gentle walk in nature. Eat food rich in magnesium, so chocolate. Why is chocolate, like dark chocolate, the only thing I can think of? Okay, we'll just go there. And B vitamins, especially B12. That one normally just dissolves under your tongue. Um, think leafy greens, bananas, and a lot of seeds, to support your brain. And my friends, hydration is key. Find out how many liters or ounces are in your ideal water bottle. 32 ounces in this one, so I need three of these. Three of these a day. Do I need three? No. Do I want three? Yes. That's 96 ounces of water. That is going to help me flush everything out through me. Are you drinking enough water? What color is your pee? I'm going there. What color is your pee? If your pee is almost white and you can barely see it, that's perfect. That's what you're aiming to. So it doesn't have to be water, right? It can be something like G0 or water with electrolytes, as long as it's lower in everything else. And you're mainly just focusing on electrolytes and not a lot of sugar. There's so many, you can put green powder, you could put your protein powder in here and double wham it. Green tea counts. You can have a couple green teas a day, but yes, green tea will count. It's not a diuretic like black tea and coffee. All right, so work on nourishing your nervous system. On the mental side, externalize your thoughts. When your brain is in overwhelm, dump everything onto paper. I love to use the cloud technique where you I love to use the cloud technique where you write a word down and then you put a bubble or a cloud around it, and then you write down, almost like rays of sunshine, every single thing that you're thinking about with that word or that thought. That's my favorite way to do a brain dump. Um, and then there's grounding techniques, like literally counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Or just stay there. I like to do the 4x4 breathing. In for 4, hold for 4, release for 4, repeat 4 times. I remember when I first realized my usual tools were failing. The 4x4 breathing stopped working for me. It took longer and longer and longer for it to take an effect. Um, Now I just do really deep breathing and it depends. I listen to my body. Sometimes, and most times, I start off with 4x4 and then I switch to longer deep breaths and longer exhales. That was a shift for me. Even the food and the vitamins and the water was a shift for me. This whole experience over the last 3 years has been a big shift for me. There was a period throughout this that I eliminated gluten and sugar, and that is a shift for me that I'd like to get back to. It was hard, but it was worth it. My body felt good, besides my head. So, this is a season of change, and this season can be your most brilliant yet. It's an invitation to rewrite the rule book you've lived by for decades. It's not failure and it's not anything bad. It's just a reevaluation of what living the good life means to you now. I've been craving doing a vision board, and I don't need a group to do a vision board. Actually, normally I get inspired by my own vision board and decide to put one together for the public and show my latest creation. And I just might need to do that because I'm feeling called to put in paper what I think my future looks like from today's viewpoint. The previous viewpoints were one thing, but from the snapshot of where I'm at today, I do crave to do a vision board. And it's reevaluating where you're at and where you want to be and what a good life means to you now. If I look at my vision boards right now, I would love to compare to see what's reality and what's not. And I bet you there will be some pleasant surprises. I bet you. You see, your worth is not tied into your productivity. Struggled with this one. Your joy isn't tied to your perfect routine. Struggled with this one. Your greatest wisdom, try that again, Sonya. Your greatest wisdom is being born from this very challenge. This is a breakthrough and not a breakdown. My fellow ADHDers, my fellow high anxiety people, my fellow Gen Xers with high blood pressure, speaking to you as a holistic health coach. To wrap things up, remember these three things. You are not alone. This is not your fault. And a new way forward is possible. You're brilliant, and it is time to build a life that honors your brilliance in every way. You want a deeper dive in these topics, I have free resources on my website that I would love to share with you. Start with the alignment assessment. That's going to tell me where you're at right here, right now. And then we can hop on a call and go over three takeaways. I would love to do that with you. Either way, you get the resources for free. I just love to explain it over a call. You can find it, actually, it's on my link tree. So if you hashtag ASKSONYA and you put that in Google, you should see my link tree come up. In there are my quizzes. Alternatively, you can just DM me AA. That sounds funny. You can DM me alignment, put the word alignment in, and I will certainly get that off to you. If you're listening to this live, put it in the comments, alignment, and I will make sure that you get this alignment quiz. Again, do the quiz for free, the conversation for free, and feel if it is in alignment for you. I actually have something else around my up my sleeve around the corner, so you're going to want to stay tuned about what that looks like. If you've been following my hashtags, you might know, but I'm not telling you anything yet. So until next time, my beautiful friends, keep living on purpose. Bye for now.